This is not universally true of all iPaaSs. Some have the capabilities that I'm about to talk about, but the ones that are largely available do not. They don't really specialize in this sort of work. Working with on-prem datasets has a few disadvantages. The first one is the systems are typically older in nature, older in design, older in terms of how they're architected and how they're hosted, which makes them more difficult to interact with. They typically do not have nice, neat little REST interfaces that you can work with across the internet. And even if they do, if you're working with an enterprise level client, the chances of them exposing those endpoints to the internet are basically zero. It's just not going to happen. Even if you're fixing it to a specific IP range, you're using secure connections, you're exchanging keys to ensure that like both parties are where they should be. Even then, most enterprise clients are just going to tell you to stuff off because it's not in their interest and it probably violates a bunch of stuff in their security policies and their sort of security insurance. What our system allows us to do is install an application or a tool on a device on your network, which the client is in full control of. And then that particular tool will poll our iPaaS system on the internet, asking for commands to run. So instead of us needing direct access to that system in order to run commands, we issue commands to an iPaaS system that basically queues them up. And we have something on the client's network that fetches the commands that we wanted to run and gives us data back when it can. So when it's available. It's not necessarily real time, though it is pretty close. What this allows us to do is get around some of the security restrictions because it's outgoing traffic only, which the client can monitor and can really narrow down what is allowed to leave their network and what's not. Anything that doesn't need to leave the network that can be processed locally, where the data does not need to be transmitted at all, we will do that. And because of the way that these are engineered, we can hook up to almost any interface. So we can hook up to COM interfaces, we can hook up to local REST APIs, we can hook up to GraphQL, we can hook up to basically new technology and super old technologies in terms of databases, network appliances. We can process files locally, whatever is necessary, because we're running something where we're not dependent on it being web connected as a standard. We are adding that functionality to whatever application we're trying to work with.